Okay, so let's start by tuning. Okay. Okay, do you think, does it sound in tune, sharp, or flat to you?
I haven't developed my ear enough for this instrument to hear it properly.
Okay.
With violin, I could hear it right away, but...
What you could do, I'm going to twist your peg a lot. Okay, now tune it, and that'll make it easier. You got it right away that time. So that's something. That's what I did when I was beginning to learn how to tune all my instruments and everything. Put it super flat or sharp one way, and then
makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you might want to tighten your belt a little bit too.
Okay. Are you sure Jason did?
It's a little short. Play your C, hon. Play your C. So this whole lesson, we're gonna devote most of it to shifting.
Okay.
So, and for now, I want to just use scales to work on shifting, but we'll get to that later. First, okay, when you shift, what part of your hand moves? When you're shifting from maybe first position to second position, what's moving when you do that?
I kind of had a question about that. I tend to not move my thumb right away. I tend to just move my 4 fingers and stretch, but you have to move the whole hand down.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah, the whole hand moves whenever you're shifting. This isn't if you're going from regular position to extended position. That's not the same as shifting. If your first finger, let's say for example, is moving from an E to an F on the D string, that's a shift. But if you're doing 1, 2 extended 4, that's not a shift. So your thumb doesn't necessarily have to move a large distance. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but you were right. Yeah, your whole hand is supposed to move. And I we can get away with sometimes not moving it in violin.
Yeah.
But violin's really not the same as cello, so you definitely need to move your hand.
Okay.
So, I remember there was something in one of our classroom orchestra books that I used in high school. Had a whole all these pages about shifting, and I thought it was super helpful. What you do, for example, if we're going to go from second, first to third is usually easier. So if we're trying to go, let's say for example, from E to G with the first finger, what you would do first, play first finger, G, 4th finger, and then the other way, and then you shift the next time. So you already have the knowing your ear, instead of having to just rely on audiating, which you should be able to do eventually. But for now, when you're beginning your shifting, that's something definitely is really helpful. Otherwise I'd
How did you do that?
Okay, so it works like...
So it's...
And then your whole hand. Exactly, and then your shift, your shift was perfect that time. So, yeah, exactly. I think it helps me. Does it help you?
Yeah.
And then you can do that for every single shift. That's, just practicing, and you can do it for other shifts, not just, first finger, too. You could do,
common to do?
Like going from...
Like, the second to, or, okay.
Yeah, just like if you're just going up one note, but if you're like going to be like... Yeah, that's, I guess that's semi-common. You would encounter it, definitely. So, I want to try some of these out, and then we'll try to put some of them... Try to work some of these into our scales, or at least, we'll practice our shifting on our scales. That'll lead up to what we're doing for the next lesson, which will be Scarlatti. And that has a lot of shifts. So we're going to make you super good at shifting. So first let's start out though in the lower range before we start going up into here, because I do want to cover shifting in the high positions.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll stay on the D string. Can you play for me a 1 to 4 shift? And just like in the same pattern I just did. Like you play all in first in this case, and then you shift into... What position are we shifting to for this? If you're doing a 1 to 4. Starting in first position.
I'm sorry, I'm a little fuzzy on the positions again.
It's okay, why don't we review them then?
Okay.
Okay, so let's just do... Okay, let's do them on our E string. Let's play with me. So we have... So, what determines what position we're in?
Like the way we do our, I don't know.
It's, well, it's something in our left hand, right?
Isn't it the way we do the scale? Like we shift up. Like, if we shift up, then we're in a different position.
Yes, definitely. And, there's a specific part of your left hand that determines exactly what position you're in right at that very moment.
Like, what finger you start on?
Yep, and specifically, do you know which one?
No.
Your first finger.
Okay.
If your first finger, whatever finger that one would be on would tell you what position you're in.
Okay.
So right now, let's start with our first finger on B. This is called the first position. And all notes surrounding B, so like any note that you would call B would be first position. So B, B flat, although that's sometimes called half position, because your finger... Yeah, like B flat, like you could do like... So it'd be like B, C, D flat, that's sometimes called half position, and you've encountered, you might have encountered pieces like that in violin. I know there's a, Vivaldi concerto or sonata or whatever.
Like half position.
Yeah, like there's like half position parts, and yeah. So you might have encountered that before, but for our intents and purposes, that's first position. So, if you have all your notes in first position, so it would be like B, C, C sharp, right? Now, if we shift up one note, what note are we on?
C?
Yep. And since this is a different note, we're in a different position, right?
Second position?
Yep.
Assumably?
Yep. Right? So can you play that with me?
Oh, I'm sorry.
These are all going to be half steps. I'm not trying to do any specific key or anything. I'm just focusing on that. I should have specified that. I'm sorry. Stop what you're doing. Don't move anything. Can you tell me how your hand, tell me? Yep.
Okay.
It's better though. You're not dropping your elbow completely, but this could still stand to be up a little bit.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. So. And then this next note, depending on what key you're in, could be
D.
D. We're not going up a whole step from C to D. We're going into the in-between notes. So it would either be
in C sharp or D flat?
Yep. So that would kind of depend on what the note actually says. Obviously, when you're reading your music, if it says D flat, you would be in third position. If it says C sharp, you're in second still. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Okay.
So D's third, right? E is fourth. Fifth still, right?
Yeah.
right around this point is when your thumb is going to start. You can either, for some of these like higher notes, you can just kind of like put your thumb right here in the where the neck starts to end, and you can kind of reach out like that.
Yeah.
So that works sometimes. It all depends on kind of like how your hand is built.
This is
Or,
such
like,
a problem I have in violin too. I tend to want to keep my thumb around and stretch.
Yup.
'cause I have
Oh, like
long
especially for
fingers.
those high, like the high positions. Yep.
Yeah,
it's-
people tell me about it all the time. You just gotta move your hand up, and then you have all this access.
Yep, and sometimes you can do that. Like for some of my scales, I do just kind of like put my thumb here and I just reach up because it's only a few notes. Other times you're gonna wanna bring your whole hand frame around, and you know what that's called? For cello specifically, when you bring the entire, it's called thumb position.
Oh.
So,
You don't use your thumb though. You just bring it around.
well, in some cases you do.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's super painful if you don't have the calluses for, like, you know, we have our calluses.
Yeah, I don't.
On. Well, eventually, everyone, you know, you might develop some calluses on your fingertips, and they get the cellos good on their thumb.
Am I
It's
gonna
super
be
painful.
playing that like
Thumb
within my
position?
semester in cello?
You're gonna learn a bit about it.
Okay.
So this is just kind of preparing you for what's coming. So you'll look really good when you're in class. You'll be like, oh, I know what it is. I know how to do that. And then he will be super impressed.
Check out my callus.
Exactly. Yeah, look at my thumb callus. So, so we were just in, like, let's just start back at fourth position.
Okay, which is B, C, D, E.
Yep. F. Okay, now can you start playing the half steps for me? To when you do these when we're shifting, so. Just so we can kind of get an idea for
Yeah.
shifting. So your thumb is still back here, right?
Okay.
And then, so then we're
Oh, I
still
understand.
now we're still in fifth position. G is probably, you're definitely probably going to want to bring your thumb around by then.
Yeah.
So when you're going from, you know, like down here up into thumb position, your whole arm is going to physically come around the cello. Like you're not hugging the cello, like you're not going to hunch over, you're still going to keep the same posture. You're just going to bring your arm around, and so this is great because then you cannot drop your elbow because then you have no mobility. So this is great practice.
Okay.
This will definitely help you.
Okay.
So why don't we just try that? Let's play. Okay, so
Somewhere?
first, can you just put your first finger on G. Your thumb is actually going to be physically touching the string. So you have to have it rest right on the fingerboard. And then at this point you're only using 3 of your fingers. That's the other thing. You generally drop the pinky finger.
Okay.
So it's, you know, because instead of using 1, 2, 3, 4, now you use thumb 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
So you still have 4 fingers to use. It's just they're different.
Okay.
So, and you can also use extended for this. So you can do like 2 whole steps with this too. So that's definitely fun. You can do half steps, or you know, it's just like when you're down here, they can be whole steps or half steps.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so can we try going from 5th position with F to moving our hand around to playing the first finger G?
What finger do you want me to switch on? So if we're up here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
Slide 2, 3.
No, slide to 1. So you're going from your first finger being on the F to the G with your whole finger coming, like your.
But we're doing like the da 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 da.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, just play F sharp. Actually, no, just play the first fingers, and I just want you to shift the whole hand. Like, you don't worry about playing the half steps.
Okay. Can you give me my note?
And bring your whole hand around. Sorry, yeah, we're just doing F, G.
Okay.
And back. And the whole. Can you just try it on your own?
Yeah.
Just take it super slow and just think about where you're going. Yep. Is it okay if I touch your hand? Okay.
You go ahead.
So, put your first finger on your G.
Do what?
Put your first finger on your G. You don't have to arch your hand so much. It's less of a Coke bottle in this case, so it can be a little more wrapped around, like. Because I see you're doing this, and I feel like that's kind of a source of it might be a problem, or maybe do you have long fingers?
Yeah, pretty.
Okay, that might also be. But yeah, you don't have to arch your hand. You don't have to be holding a huge Coke bottle now. Maybe you can just be holding a fat pencil. I don't know, like
magic marker.
Yeah. So can you do that just one more time for me? Oh wait. Don't want your thumb going this way. There you go.
Oh. I don't understand what you mean. So would it be more like this?
Yeah, your whole hand, like you could, if you weren't playing, you could just kind of set your whole hand right on top of your fingerboard. Like your thumb moves the most. It comes from being, on the neck to coming around, and it's touching the strings. It's physically sitting on the top of the fingerboard.
Okay. So, like if I